Okay. Good evening. Welcome to the City of Laconia Conservation Commission meeting for November 19th, 2025. I'm Dean Anson.
Deb Williams.
Bob Harrington.
Lisa Moore.
Jen Kreitzer.
Savannah Brunel.
Okay, we start off by saluting the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So are most of you here for the CUP application for 1206 Old North Main Street?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll put that at the top of the agenda, do it right now so that we don't hold you up. So somebody going to make a presentation?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jessica Bailey. I'm a certified wetland scientist and certified soil scientist here with Bailey Associates in Guilford, New Hampshire. We have put together a proposal for a proposed 5-lot subdivision on the property 1206 Old North Main Street. For single-family residential use, we are applying for a wetlands conditional use permit for the associated impacts within the wetland buffer zone for one of the proposed single-family driveways. I was informed that you have received my package as submitted with the subdivision application.
Yes.
I think it would be best to start off with, do you folks have any particular questions that was not answered, or you would like additional information from the response letter outlining your checklist for items to address and talk about?
Why don't you just give us a description of your project so that everybody's on the same page, please.
So, like I said, the proposal is for a 5-lot. So, you guys have tablets, so bear with me. We have now I just hit something. Let me get the same plan I'm going to look at real quick, number 3.
Do you have a plan?
It says it underneath.
Yeah. It's,
No, I don't have a map or anything though.
It says loading.
I don't know where the
Took
cursor is.
a minute to load.
I think it's.
Is it a touch
something
screen? We might
Is that what
having
you mean?
technical
Where's
difficulties.
that?
You have to go back.
All right,
What
that's
do you
okay.
want?
There it is.
I
All
think
right.
you're way down at the bottom.
If you were to,
Go
with
back.
your tablets, go to sheet 3 of 14. You can see the property is using the existing established right-of-way from Old North Main. This property used to be occupied by Faith Point Church. There is a forested scrub shrub wetland on the northeast side of the parcel, and on the northwest side of the parcel, there's a small forested scrub shrub with open water wetland on the west side. There is an existing crossing under that established driveway. The proposal includes tying into the municipal sewer, having municipal water available. And if we were to switch to sheet 4 of 14, you can see for proposed lot 374404 7.1, I have 284 square feet of a wetland impact. That proposed driveway is gaining access through that forested wetland. It is a fringe, it is low impact in the terms of wetlands functions and values. Most of the functions and values are dominated on the west side of the parcel with the open water. We're proposing 7,376 square feet of impact within the wetland buffer for the proposed driveway. Let's see if any one of these plans. On page sheet 7 of 14, the proposed driveway is shown. I still can't get this to work. I apologize to the folks in the back. You haven't seen any of these plans. You've come out.
Savannah, is there a way that you can have Jess's,
She's trying.
That's what they're-
That's what they're trying to do.
connecting it to the,
Yeah.
It's locking up on her. It's
oh, okay.
not responding the way we want. You have to get it, it has to think for a second. So what are you trying to close?
I'm just trying to get the mouse to come up, because the mouse isn't even on the page.
It's, all right. We're going without the computer, we're going old school. So on sheet 7 of 14, the proposed driveway is shown in the solid gray hatch. Again, this is going towards proposed lot 374-404-7.1. There is, again, only 284 square feet of impact within the wetland boundary. The remaining request for the conditional use permit is the 7,364 square feet within the wetland buffer. Going over your checklist, you ask for identification of any threatened or endangered species, running a Natural Heritage Bureau, their data tool. There is no known occurrences, threatened or endangered species or species at the extremity of their natural communities. Sediment and erosion control. Silt fence will be used during the construction of the driveway. The property is not located within a identified high-valued wildlife habitat according to the New Hampshire Wildlife Action Plan. The property, the surrounding neighborhood is well-developed. Let's see, what else on your checklist? Provide a map displays surface water, groundwater, and aquifers. Again, the surface water is the forested shrub with open water on the western side of the property. There is no aquifer on the property. The wetlands on site do not contain deep enough depressions to provide vernal pool habitat. The wetland on the property is actually highly impacted from garbage and other debris being thrown out of car windows on 106 or coming through the stormwater pipes. There was old tires, there was bags. It's a low-value wetland. There is not a lot of high value. There is a large population of invasive species out there, glossy buckthorn, European bittersweet, Japanese bamboo. All efforts, all ground disturbing activities in the wetland or around the wetland, all of those soils will be treated, they will be gone to appropriate measures as necessary to control the spread of invasive species.
What's on the property now, Jess?
Again, the property used to hold, I think it was First Point Church. I know it was a church. The building has been demolished, so the only remaining infrastructure on that property right now is the asphalt driveway and paved parking area that used to get, support that structure when visitors were there. I did provide a few site photos in my submittal package. Did everyone have a chance to look at those? I didn't include what the church used to be. Might have been with the...
So the sewer line is gonna come from Old North?
There's a connection right there on Old North
Old
Main. It would tie into that. Part of this plan set includes all of that engineering plans for tying into the municipal sewer and the water, and the design of the road.
Mr. Chairman, I don't see pictures with our electronic packet. I don't know if there are.
I haven't seen them either.
Okay.
What's the source of the water?
Lisa, if you want, you can look at
Oh,
those and
thank you.
pass them around.
Thank you.
That part?
So the source of the water for this particular there is a culvert that comes underneath 106. Across the street, across 106 from this property is the county complex buildings. And so there's a culvert that comes across from there, which is a man-made drainage swale. And so it goes from the county complex building under 106, and it outlets into this forested shrub wetland. There it travels in a northerly direction towards Old North Main.
Mr. Chair, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Would there be any negotiations with the county to correct their drainage? I mean, is this, nowadays, my understanding is nowadays you want to keep all your runoff on your property. And this seems like they're utilizing another lot that doesn't belong to them.
A lot of,
I mean, it's an old drainage. It's an old drainage. I just didn't know if there was going to be any follow-up with the county to maybe redirect drainage away from the lot.
I cannot answer that because I don't know,
Okay.
but we can present it to the developer. I don't think there's a problem with the stormwater from the county complex continuing through this system.
Okay. Thank you.
So is the developer here tonight?
No.
So, on that side of the road, and on the other side of 106.
Which
there-
side?
Either side, both sides.
Okay.
In that area, we also have a conservation easement right down the street from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
There
that's further down the road.
Right.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
what I was starting to say is that there is a lot of water. There's a lot of wetlands in there.
There is.
And I would be hesitant to say that this is connected to the runoff from the county complex. I have a feeling
I-
that it's There's underground water and everything else there.
There's not. So,
You're the scientist.
right,
I'm sorry.
right here is the culvert, right
Right.
here is the county complex.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So here's that culvert. This is what's feeding all of this.
yeah.
This is seasonal. It's seasonally wet, it's saturated for seasonal standards. When you get over onto the west, the northwestern side over, and this is where the open water pond is and everything. Now we're getting into semi-permanently into permanently. This system does continue. How? I don't know. I didn't walk over there. It's off my property.
Right.
But all those wetlands that you're talking about are right over here, where
But I-
somebody just came in and tied into something of their own.
Well, there's wetlands on either side of that road. I don't.
Right.
And there's
And those
been
wetlands are
beavers,
completely
there's been,
filled with phragmites as well.
there's been beavers
Yeah.
on this side and, yeah, a lot of different
Yeah.
things, so.
But there was construction recently that cut a swath through the wetland, and it looked like they were tying into
Yeah.
probably a municipal sewer or a drainage system.
We addressed that last year, remember?
Yeah,
It could have been last
It
year.
was the city had something that they did
Yes,
in
because-
Tarvis.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, may I ask Savannah a question?
Sure.
A question? Savannah, so, the developer, when they build these 5 homes, will come to us, right? Will we have a discussion with a developer?
So this was that meeting.
This is this meeting, so we don't know the construction of these buildings or what kind of maintenance plan they may have, if it's like an HOA compact.
It's not gonna be an HOA.
Well, I guess what I'm wondering is if there's like, for like management plans and things like, if they have, structures, why can't I talk tonight?
Stormwater.
That kind of stuff, yes, infrastructure, that's the word I was thinking of. If they have infrastructure, we usually have comment, we of course have no teeth, but we have comment about maintenance plans and things like that.
So this project was heard at the TRC meeting yesterday. There was no issues or concerns or comments. Things went smooth at the TRC meeting. Everything is on point right now to be heard at the December 2nd planning board meeting. So in terms of infrastructure or maintenance plans, I don't know, but I can certainly find out and provide feedback. I can send the email to Savannah so she can pass it around if that's,
One other, I'm not gonna call it a small detail, but it's usually something we comment on. I noticed in the planting plan, it just refers to the planning board and street trees. And usually, that's one of the items that the conservation district, especially since there are so many invasive species out there.
there is a lot of invasives.
Yeah, and just kind of, we make comment on maybe maintenance so that those don't return, and what kind of, and planting native species. We always kind of have a
I do
comment.
believe, I made sure Craig picked a native species. I already got
Okay.
on top of him on that one.
I figured you would be, but what I caught was that it made reference to the planning board making recommendations on street trees, and I didn't catch that there was
I haven't,
was it sheet 4?
so street tree planting notes.
it was-
If street trees are deemed necessary, I'm thinking they may try to veer away from it, if it does. But if they shall be native, they shall not be identified invasives, and we cited, Doug Seigen's book.
Okay, great, thank you. I didn't catch the full,
Yeah, it's tiny on a tablet,
all right, thank you.
but Doug Seigen is cited.
Yeah, okay, sounds good, thank you.
Are they committed to 4 homes, 4 lots?
It's 5.
5?
It's 5
Are
lots,
they committed to 5?
yes.
Because. I have a lot of questions.
so, at the TRC meeting, were there any comments?
I was not there.
We were.
Can we get a copy? Is there a way that you can call them up on your computer, get the copy of the TRC comments, please?
I don't think the minutes have been posted can give you,
So you're representing the builder, but you're the wetland scientist.
Yes, because you're gonna wanna talk to me at the Conservation Commission meetings. You don't wanna talk to the land surveyors, and you don't wanna talk to the engineers. I'm here for a wetlands conditional use permit for impacts for a residential driveway within the wetland buffer. I'm not here
We
for
just haven't
anything
had-
else.
We just haven't done it that way before. We've had builders and the scientists with us, but we've always usually had the builders too. So if we had questions about, I mean, are they doing sidewalks?
There, at the TRC meeting, there was one comment, might be the gentleman behind me, an abutter did find an easement, and the easement restricts the ability for a sidewalk to comply. So the sidewalk is teetering based on the easement, and that's as much knowledge as I know. But the sidewalk may be eliminated because of a butter's easement in that area.
Okay. What else did the abutters easement say?
I didn't read it.
Yeah.
It's for gardens, I do believe.
Okay. I mean, do they have plans for snow disposal? Do they have?
These are individual lots. It's going to be the responsibility of the homeowner to clear their driveways,
I'm sorry.
to pile the snow, if they want to use a pet-free rock salt or a sand salt. It is it's going to be the homeowner's choices.
Okay.
We're not putting restrictions or covenants on things. It's a single-family residential home. We are creating 5 single-family homes out of one larger parcel that is no longer serving its purpose.
Do we have a price range on these?
No, it's out of the purview of this discussion.
Is it, are the lots sold already?
No, they haven't been approved yet by the planning board.
I'm just asking questions.
Okay.
No attitude, please.
Okay, so I think this is, we have part of the information?
Yeah.
You have all the information necessary
we-
for the Conservation
Okay.
Commission.
What we've said before is typically the builder will come,
The
come to
builder,
you.
the builder decided not to be here.
Okay. that-
We're here representing him on his behalf.
Are they gonna have city water or wells?
Municipal water.
and municipal sewers.
Well, sewers, I understand.
Yeah.
Well, water, I was asking.
So we don't have the TRC comments.
It happened
We-
yesterday,
I understand that.
so.
So my point is, and I think, I'm not gonna speak for anybody else, my point is, this is going too fast, and we don't have all of the information. So I don't have the comments from the TRC of yesterday. And, you know, it took place last night, you know, and then the planning board meeting is going to be in 2 weeks. So we don't have a meeting between now and then that the builder could come and to talk to us. And I understand that you're representing the builder from the wetland.
I would like to ask you a question. Again, we're here for a wetlands conditional use permit for impacts within the wetland buffer. I am curious as to what you think the builder would provide that I cannot.
I don't know the answer to that question because you're talking about the wetlands, only the wetlands, and we're talking about the overall
Other
project.
things that, right. But again, I'm here for the wetlands conditional use permit.
Right. Right. We understand that.
I have It was a part of the application for subdivision because my project includes impacts to the wetland buffer within your Wetlands Conservation Overlay District. I have filled out your checklist. I have provided all of that necessary information. I have part of the planning board application includes the wetlands conditional use permit.
Right. And what we typically, typically get is we get the TRC comments so that we can use those comments along with the application to better understand what the potential project impacts are. And we don't have the TRC comments. So I guess what I'm saying in a nutshell is this, we should delay the meeting, the planning board meeting for your application. I mean, the other thing, and this has happened in the past, is that the planning board says, okay, we reviewed your project, you need to go back to the Conservation Commission and talk to them about the TRC comments and any comments that the planning board has. So it's not like, it's not a straight line from TRC to here to the planning board. It wouldn't be the first time that the planning board sent an applicant back to us to address comments that the planning board had or that came up in a TRC.
I understand, but I think the Conservation Commission might be overreaching your reach. Your job is to evaluate my proposal in terms of the wetlands conditional use permit and not of how the planning board is going to review and consider the project.
The planning board will give us the TRC comments, which are comments from other.
I know what the
So
technical
it's-
review committee is, and it happened yesterday morning. Why those minutes were not expedited and provided to you before tonight's meeting, I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't think anybody here knows. And none of us were in that meeting, so. I mean, I appreciate you're trying to address
But we have,
the wetlands.
but we have a
only.
technical review committee schedule, just like we have the Conservation Commission schedule. So, and everybody leans up to the December 2nd planning board schedule, meeting date. So the TRC folks should have even draft copies, so.
I think one of the things that,
So what are the big items that you would like to have clarified that we can make sure we include at the December 2nd planning board meeting? So we can have those answers ready. So the maintenance schedule about stormwater. If stormwater is, let's review these plans. There's a few catch basins and such. So we'll have a maintenance schedule and who's gonna be responsible for it. Whether or not this road becomes accepted to be a City of Laconia road, it would be the City of Laconia's Department of Public Works.
Is there a pipe that goes under the road in between these two water wetlands?
Yes, there is.
How large is that pipe?
Oh dear. I got small plans myself. I'm not exactly sure what size it is.
Do you wanna borrow this so you can blow it up? I don't know what page it is, but you can scroll through and blow it up if you need to.
How do we get, oh, here we go. Wood guard post. Well, an audience member believes it's an 18-inch. I'm not sure, but it's certainly not smaller than that.
Okay. And is it new or is it old?
I would imagine it's quite old,
Do you have any plans to update it?
not at this time. Proposed head wall, culvert, 18-inch HDPE INV, the invert.
Which page is that?
This is on 5 of 14. It's very small text. It's an 18-inch HDPE, high density.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm curious about, you mentioned earlier, plans for a silt fence during construction of the driveway that you're discussing that's in the wetlands buffer.
Yes, and there is some silt fence already being shown on the plan. Part of the layer may be accidentally frozen. There is silt fence being shown on the plan, so no additional disturbance, no adverse impacts.
So I'm just curious because you mentioned during construction of the driveway, I don't want to assume, but would that be remaining during construction in general? Because obviously we're concerned about the wetlands in
Construction
general, not-
sequences for applications of silt fence to keep any kind of impacts or wanted or, sorry, tongue-tied. Silt fence remains in place during the duration of the construction activities. They are monitored, inspected, repaired, and replaced as necessary. They remain in place until a minimum of 75% of vegetative growth to reestablish and stabilize those disturbed soils. That is the standard construction sequence that we have in our office.
Thank you.
On page 10 of 14, along the bottom, they've got information, and they have along the right side edge, they have both a diagram and then more information on their
Yep.
erosion control.
So Craig he used to be a SWIP, a sediment and erosion control inspector. He has let that certification lapse. He can only maintain so many.
So is our change in place yet? Our change about the silt socks, is that in place yet?
Yes. So we have a checklist,
Yes, I filled it out.
and one of the things we asked for are silt socks.
Silt sock would not be an appropriate use in this instance. Silt sock is only a 12-inch diameter. Silt fence can stand up 3 feet. So when there is any kind of minor storm event where there is transport of sediment, it catches. Silt sock, it can backfill and then it rolls over. Silt sock is actually not a appropriate use.
Okay,
What's gonna keep
I
it
didn't
from going
finish.
under the silt fence?
You have to tow it in properly. There is proper towing in technique for silt fence. And again, it is inspected, maintained, repaired and replaced as necessary throughout the duration of the construction.
By
The contractors.
contractors and the city?
The city is not responsible for maintaining the silt fence.
The city, no, but the city can inspect it to make sure that it's doing what it's
Yes,
supposed to do.
if you have an inspector that does that. I used to do it for the Hannaford in Alton when that was being built.
I think where some of the confusion's coming from is that the terminology, on the page it's saying silt sock, and then barriers, and so I think that's why we maybe are not using the right nomenclature there.
We will make sure.
They show a silt sock.
10 of 14,
10 of 14.
yeah, thank you.
With a spike to keep it from rolling. I'm concerned with the amount of wetland that there is in that area. And I'm just concerned that
It looks,
any construction
it looks
might
large,
change the
but
way.
that wetland is, again, seasonally flooded, saturated and flooded. There are times where that groundwater is below 10 inches from the soil surface. It is not standing water at the surface. It is not flowing. There's a very, very small diffuse channel from the culvert at 106 to the 18-inch culvert under the driveway.
Yes, but
the-
it's mapped out here. And it's
It-
shown.
Because I
as-
have to map the
I
boundaries.
understand that, but my concern is when construction is done, that's gonna change how things flow and how neighbors may get water on their property.
They
and-
wouldn't be affected.
You can say that, but it's happened to me, so, you know, you can't just say that, I mean, water is mysterious sometimes, you know that.
I apologize if I missed this, and would you be bringing in fill to raise the contour or elevation?
I do not know about any kind of grading,
Okay.
but I'll put that on my list to make sure it's covered at the December 2nd.
Thank you.
See, that's the kind of question we would ask the builder. That's why we want the
I'm s-
builder here. And
I don't
it's
think
not your,
the
it's not your
builder wouldn't
fault.
answer
It's
it
not-
either, it's the engineer.
It's not your fault that he's not here. We don't, it is typical that we would have a builder, an engineer here to give us additional information. I have a question as to, in green, you show the lot. That's the lot line. What happens to the rest of the property? Does the rest of the property go to the wetland edge?
No, there's a 50-foot buffer on there,
Right, I know, but.
but you can
what-
see the building envelope of the,
I see the building envelope, that's why, so who owns the rest of the land?
the owner of the property.
Right,
There's a lot of land on that property that's absorbed in the wetland.
right.
But the person who purchases it owns it.
So the lot lines that are shown here in green are not the extent of the ownership.
The lot line is the division. There's the lot line. I don't know if I'm understanding your question, Dean.
So what part, so as an example, let me see which line. I'm on 1 of 14. So
1 of 14?
1 of 14. So here,
right here.
who owns this part here? Who owns this property here?
No one yet. My developer. So this is one lot,
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
right?
So what we're doing
So
is.
right now, all of this is owned by the
one-
developer.
Right, I understand, and he's gonna subdivide it. I understand that.
Okay,
My concern is that we're gonna have a private owner who is gonna have to take care of, in this case, it looks like about 50% of the property, which is wetland.
Right here is the building envelope.
Right, I know
And
that.
he doesn't have to take care of,
No, he can't, he cannot go and fill it in.
well, correct.
So this is, to me, it's like the majority of,
that's
the majority of this site,
Yeah.
not the majority, 25%, 30% is wetland, the way that you marked it out.
Yeah.
And that land that is wetland is going to be owned by private owners.
Yes.
And if they don't see the value of wetlands,
Yes.
then they will be filled in, or whatever.
You can't say that,
I-
and you can't speculate that somebody may or may not understand the value of wetlands.
I can say that.
The truth is, no, you're not allowed to fill in wetlands without a permit from the Department of Environmental Services.
Right.
You cannot fill in wetlands to create usable land, but that is proposed to be a single-family residential home lot. And you cannot, I can't go and police people's activities. There are plenty of existing, currently on record, parcels of land in the city of Laconia that have wetlands on them. South Down Shores, over by Woodvale.
We
You
know that.
cannot,
We know
people
that.
are
And
going
that's-
to.
That's exactly our concern. The
I know, but
concern
you
of this-
can't have
of this
that concern.
commission- Yes, we can. The concern of this commission is the preservation of those wetlands because they are so important to.
Those are not highly important. The ones,
We have,
they,
we have different, we
there
have
is
different.
there is, you wanna talk about functions and values,
wait a
you wanna
minute.
talk about wetlands.
No,
You
wait a
wanna
minute.
talk about
No,
their
no, no, no.
values.
I want you
That
to-
right
I
now
want you to-
is
I want you
filled
to
with
talk to us. I
tires,
want you to
it's
talk
filled
to
with
us.
garbage. It is low quality right now. It is low quality.
Okay, I want you to address the commission, not the
I
audience.
don't need the noise in
okay?
the back. I
No, no,
apologize.
that's- Okay, and I would appreciate if the noise in the back would stop. So my concern is, as a environmental guy, my concern is the preservation of our wetlands. Because our wetlands are disappearing so quickly, and the value that they add to our environment is so important, my perspective, so important, and a lot of other people share that they need to be preserved. And it would be helpful for the developer to be here to have this conversation.
Okay,
Because you're an environmental person too, so
and
you.
I have a wonderful suggestion for you. We did it over in South Down Shores, and I still have a box of the wetland buffer setback. They're little metal tags.
We got them.
We can easily have those tacked to the trees at the 50-foot buffer.
So,
But when the,
That way, that future landowner and homeowner knows that there is a wetland protective buffer. I have those placards in my office.
so when homeowner comes to buy one of these properties, are they told how much of it is wetland?
I'm not the real estate agent.
I'm
I sort of,
Typically.
I sort of have a question with that too, like, I don't know how each, like these lots that have blue to indicate wetlands, how much buildable area they have. I mean, is it all within?
well, it
The
seems like
minimum
the
requirement for
envelope-
this zone, proposed lots are required because they're on municipal sewer and water. It's a minimum, they need 10,000 square feet.
Okay, so they've got that then, okay,
So they've got that and then some,
okay, thank you.
because they meet all of the zoning
I
and
just
the
didn't
planning
know if it was
regulations.
disclosed to the buyer how much of their property is usable that way, buildable.
Well, there is that saying in real estate, don't ask, don't tell. So unless that individual asks, I
So the
can't
builder's
answer
not-
that.
not-
But you
not-
see how that's a catch-22. You're asking for answers that, for
I just didn't
fabricated
know
questions.
if it was the builder that was selling them, the real estate that was selling?
I
mean,
don't-
how- Okay,
So what's the depth of groundwater on lot? Missed it. On the lot that has the largest wetland on it?
You want local or seasonal?
7.2? We want, say that again, sorry?
You want the local, regional, or the seasonal high?
Did you dig holes?
I used my auger for wetlands. And for a wetland, for a poorly drained soil, that seasonal high water table is at some time, for some duration out of 5 out of 10 years, within 10 inches of the soil surface. That's the definition for a poorly drained soil.
So on site, it was 10 inches.
The evidence that it is within 10 inches because of the redoxamorphic features was within 10 inches of the soil surface, making that soil qualify as a hydric soil with the indicator keys.
And when did you do your study?
I was there in April.
We had enough rain in April, it wasn't dry.
Yeah.
so.
It sure was.
I feel like we have part of the information. And it's not your fault. You've given us part of the information because that's the part you're supposed to give us.
Right.
And if we had the developer here, they could.
We gotta move past that one. He might not be here. You gotta move past
No,
it.
no, I don't need to move
He
back.
might not-
I don't have sufficient information, is what I'm telling you. I don't have the TRC.
Does the Conservation Commission have any do they have concerns with the construction of a single-family residential driveway within the wetland buffer for proposed lot 374-404-7.1?
I will reframe your question and say, I have a question about the
Hello?
Depth of water on the site. I have a question about how we're going to make sure that the owners of the property maintain the buffer.
Well, I'm
for-
in the midst of
for,
a meeting right
the
now.
Wait a minute,
so I'll have
Dean.
to
He needs to get off of the phone.
Get another time. Yeah, okay, yeah, right.
Thank you.
So I don't have enough information.
Does the Conservation Commission encourage my recommendation of the wetlands conservation buffer tags to be applied to these proposed lots? For your concerns, it seems like a very simple way to put those concerns to rest.
I have concerns beyond that. Sorry.
We're asking about the conservation tags. Let's try and stay focused. Let's get a few things.
Okay, so the answer is yes, and I'll tell you exactly why. Because I put.
Yes to what?
What?
Yes to what?
Question about the tags.
You
That's
like the
question you're
tags?
asked.
Okay.
The reason that I have concern about the tags is because I put the tags on a wetland in Southdown.
And they got taken down.
That's it.
People do that.
So
You
that's
can't control
why-
people.
That's
But we
why-
can certainly
you
try to
asked-
give
wait a
them
minute.
information.
Jess, you asked me if I had concerns about putting tags on trees, and I'm telling you yes, and I'm telling you why.
Because people will take them down.
It
But
doesn't make-
that's,
I understand that. I understand.
but
that's
how do
okay.
I address the Conservation Commission's concerns provide a reasonable solution that has been used on other projects within the city of Laconia, and now it's no longer a reasonable solution. How can I,
Okay, so what you're doing is you're saying, this is the way we usually do projects in the city of Laconia.
it's work,
And wait a minute, let me finish.
no,
So, the way we do projects in the city of Laconia is when an applicant comes here, they will bring a wetland delineation, the builder might be here, the surveyor might here, we might have other people here. We would have the TRC comments. So that's the way we do other projects here. In this case, we have a portion of the information that we would need, that we would expect under other circumstances. And it's not your fault. But we only have part of the information.
so what would be a good alternative from the tree tags? I'm gonna get some answers. I need to get answers. I can't help you if I don't get some answers as to how.
Okay, I haven't seen this site. I would, I don't know if there's another alternative, other than educating the homeowners that buy these lots.
And a tree tag would provide that visual education of a wetland protective buffer. It would. They might take it down,
Right.
but
I
it
mean,
would
tags-
give them that initial education
Right.
of a wetland protective buffer.
I mean, tags is one step. Is that what you want us to say? Tags are one step. But,
I can't control people.
right.
I can't
It should-
plan
it should be in the
against
deed,
something that may or may not
You know,
ever come to fruition.
it should be in the
You,
deed.
you,
Okay.
Right.
What other people on the commission have for comments?
Questions
On this subject of the tree tags?
Or no,
On the project?
on this
on
project?
this?
we can talk about, we can get comments about the tree tag so we can be clear on the response. It's been very jumpy this evening.
I don't see a problem with doing tree tags initially. I think Deb has also said that it is the first step in educating the landowner. I fully understand Mr. Anson's concerns about how signage disappears, especially if it's inconvenient. But I think that doing the tree tags is the first step. And that is, and following up with the chairman's comments, I don't know if one of us would be at the planning board meeting to speak about, I know that the staff will also reiterate our concerns to them, but somebody will be at the planning board meeting to emphasize some of these concerns that we're talking about tonight, and to further the education of people who may purchase these lots. About wetlands, about drainage, about trees, I think is for tonight, the question's been asked, what about tree tags? And I agree that it's a good first step for education, but that there are drawbacks to that as a long-term solution.
Does anybody have any other comments on the project, not just tree tags?
I've driven by the site when I've seen standing water, and I defer to the wetland scientist that this is not, because I don't look at it every time I drive by. Having had a career in concerns of drainage, not from an engineering standpoint, just generally, I just kind of wonder if somebody who purchases lot is gonna have a problem some years with flooding and how all this is gonna, how all this is going to sift out for the landowner who buys a lot. And I understand there's no onus on Turning Point, is it Turning Point?
We dropped that DBA.
Oh.
Bailey Associates.
Bailey Associates, I know there's no onus on Bailey Associates or even the developer necessarily, but I think, you know, I do have concerns down the road about how all this water, especially as more development happens and, you know, I don't know what's gonna be going on at the county for development. Is that water going to be increasing? I don't know these things, and I just have, you know, I wonder for the landowner. So,
I will pass that question on and Craig will be prepared to answer that for you.
okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah, I would echo that. I have,
Well, Craig is the civil engineer.
Right.
So
but I have
he's gonna be the
concerns.
one to best address that part of your questions.
Right.
Because I don't put that hat on and I don't pretend to and I don't try.
I mean, we can, you know, say that you're, you know, the buffers that you're talking about and that you've, you know, tried your best to put the driveway where it's not gonna interrupt anything or do anything, but it's not always science.
I would like to add, though, you know, given that this site has been used before, that it's heavily infested with invasive species and trash, that I'm appreciative that it's being looked at as a use that will alleviate those issues.
I could see.
We can certainly incorporate some wetland enhancement tasks to our project to ensure that once these lots are subdivided, approved, and on the market for sale, we can clean up the wetlands, we can remove some of that trash, we can certainly address and remove some of the invasive species. They will come back, they're vigorous growers, they send out tendrils, they're not like our native species where you're having your parent crops and seed sources. So we can certainly try to incorporate more of a wetland enhancement, so when these parcels do become privately owned, those new landowners aren't begrudged with the task of cleaning them up, because there is a lot of trash in that woods.
The, the lots, the house lot that is furthest out, the 7.41, that is closer to where the church was,
Yes.
that abuts with the Tardif easement, is that correct?
I'm looking at sheet 7, I don't have the abutter on
Yeah, I
sheet 1. The
see it on-
abutting parcel is the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints.
So that comes from the Old North Main side. That church is on the
So-
Old North Main side, yeah.
I believe your Tardif Conservation Area
Oh, okay.
could
I'm
very well
sorry.
be on the other side of
Got-
Lot
yeah,
9.
Yeah, no, I, for some reason, I thought this was that lot. That this was where the church was. And you're saying it's not, is that correct?
The
Or they
immediate,
still own that parcel?
the immediate abutter to our subject parcel is land owned by the Latter-day Saints.
So, but you're
The
worried-
next parcel over, I don't have
Oh,
that
it's-
abutter information
It's a
in
different
front of
church.
me.
Okay,
Yeah, there's two.
okay. Gotcha. I'm just wondering what that back of that property looks like. When it's next to this, this last lot here, the 7.4, how wet that parcel is there.
We can do a aerial photo investigation, but we certainly cannot go on their property.
Right.
We can also do,
Because it looks like on this big map, the inset, that wetland is back there. Continues.
And
You know what I'm saying? Like how wet is it on that side?
This one.
How wet is it over here?
It's at Church of Latter-day Saints.
I know, but the church is in the front.
I don't know how.
All right, does anybody have any other questions?
Yeah, Jess, do you have? Jen? No?
I don't have any questions. I mean, I agree that I think we have, compared to our typical meetings, like when we have the, people coming to us, yeah, I agree, we typically have more information than we currently have. I think that the CUP is specific for the driveway, and I think that obviously we have the information for that one piece. I think that what we're missing is the information for all the other pieces. So.
Bob, do you have any questions?
No, I was just trying to absorb all of this. All of this is pretty new to me.
Yeah.
not having much luck right now connecting. I was kind of gonna call up Web Soil Survey.
You what?
I'm not
I
having.
have it
much
on my
luck.
phone.
Do you? I was gonna call up Web Soil Survey and just get a quick soils report, which is not, it's only good to like 5 to 6 acres of accuracy, but it would
No.
give you some, no, you don't even go that far.
I put Web Soil Survey right up there with a tax map and with the National Wetland Inventory. They are fantastic tools, but they do not replace on the ground.
Oh, absolutely. I was just
But they're
trying,
tools.
right, I was just
And
gonna
the
try
Web
to-
Soil Survey is usually, it can be quite wrong on the soil series.
Okay. I was just looking to give Deb a little bit further information on maybe how far that wetland might extend, just based on, is it a wet soil or whatever, because we didn't have it mapped, but that's okay. So I appreciate your guidance on whether we should use that as a tool for this or not.
I think the Web Soil Survey is a fantastic tool. I really do. It's right up there with the National Wetland Inventory. It's right up there with tax maps. It's a tool. It does not replace on the ground.
Nope, I know.
And
But I don't think we're looking to have a lot that's just an abutting lot mapped for that, so.
and my web was only pulling up what I am, and I'm urban.
Gotcha.
I couldn't, silly.
So what do we want to do?
We want to thank her for her presentation.
That's okay. We've still gained a lot of, I know how best to address your questions, and you have a little bit more information than you did before. So it was still a very productive evening.
And we can get more information that we need and give more recommendations to you as you move forward.
Yes, Savannah has my email address, so.
Yeah. Well, no, so I was thinking the next steps was possibly that, I don't know who of us would be going to the planning board meeting. I don't know if we have other, do we have recommendations already? I know she's been keeping track of the recommendations, and do we need to vote on any recommendations, or no?
I don't think so.
I think you should clarify what your recommendations are.
I think we've got that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, I know she's been
Okay.
keeping
I
a
just-
list.
No.
As long
No.
as you guys know what you recommended.
No,
I just
Uh,
need more information.
Okay, okay.
I think,
I can recap things for you, Dean, would that be all right?
go ahead.
Okay.
Wait a minute, no, wait a minute. So can Savannah, you're gonna take these down?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be recorded. Right.
You're hitting the
Good.
record
Okay,
button.
Okay.
Okay, we would like to address the question on a maintenance schedule and who's going to be the responsible individual for the stormwater infrastructure of the proposed new road, whether that road is going to become accepted to be a city road, or if it's gonna, because I don't know that either, but there's that question right there. We have the questions of where are the TRC comments, why didn't we get them? On sheet 10 of 14, the plan is using the silt sock border, and it should be using the silt fence border.
We might disagree
That's-
with that, but.
Again, it is my professional opinion that silt sock would be it would be a great plan B. Silt sock and silt fence can be used
Together.
together,
we
but they
that.
do have very different purposes.
Right, and that's what we typically recommend.
I don't always
Well, that's
recommend
fine,
silt.
But
But
this
this is
commission
our commission
recommends.
recommending to you.
And recommendations are fantastic, they don't have to be adhered to. There was a question on the regrading, on the fill. Dean had a question on the depth of water, again, but I think we've addressed that with the definition of a poorly drained soil.
No,
So can you clarify to me, what do you
so,
mean by depth of water, of groundwater? You have groundwater, you have your local groundwater table, and then you have your seasonal high water table. They are two very different things.
I understand that, I wanna know what
Because the groundwater could be 20 feet below,
no, I'm
but
not
the
talking
seasonal
about-
can come
I'm
up.
talking about this surface, the top surface of groundwater. That's what I wanna know.
So the seasonal high water table.
and what
And I've
seasonal-
already told you
what's-
it's within 10 inches of the soil surface.
The site's level?
For the groundwater, yes, it would be within 10 inches of the soil surface. Whether that soil surface is slightly concave or convex, that seasonal high comes up. It's seasonal, it fluctuates.
Okay, what else is on the list?
We all agree that the use of the wetland conservation buffer tags is a good first step for education and outreach. Yes, we all understand people can remove them because they don't always want tags in their trees. We have concerns of drainage. How will the drainage be managed through the years with unknown certainties of any future or potential development happening on the county complex land? And how would that affect, if at all, or not at all, downstream properties? How will that water affect for the entire wetland complex, which is leading up to our Tardif Conservation parcel? Okay. I have put it on the table that I will encourage my client to include wetland enhancement activities to help clean up these wetlands, trash removal, and some invasive species control and management. So these parcels with the wetlands are handed over, and so that future homeowner and landowner is not tasked with all of this garbage. So the wetlands that Dean is very concerned about, that wants to have protection, we are going to clean these wetlands up and make sure, because these future homeowners might not be a certified wetland scientist. So that way we can hand off these parcels and they can build their home and have their families.
Mr. Jim,
Go ahead.
will we be hearing from the audience at all? Or is this
I
not?
think so.
Okay.
I saw the pictures that you passed around. How many trees are going to be cut down in this?
I don't know, in that particular section, along that stone wall, the stone wall is clearly visible, there's not a big buffer or anything right there, and then as you come, there's so many pole saplings. For trees, there's very little, but there is a large population there, it is dense with pole saplings. And that is anything 20 feet high, less than 3 inches DBH.
So what's the impact going to be on the depth of water if you cut those trees down?
Well, everybody thinks it's gonna get drier, but it's just not the truth, and we know that. Without the vegetation, the site will get wetter. But with cleaning up the wetland, and so here's my other suggestion that I haven't got to yet, because we're proposing to build the driveway within that wetland buffer, another application that we have used with the Conservation Commission for projects kind of like this in South Down Shores is I have prepared a wetland buffer enhancement plan where I would, yes, some vegetation is being removed so the driveway can be constructed and properly graded. But there's still plenty of room between the driveway and that transitional buffer, the wetland buffer. So between the driveway and that boundary, within that wetland buffer, where we had to temporarily remove vegetation for the construction, I propose to draft up and develop a wetland buffer plan to replace that vegetation that we did have to temporarily remove for the driveway.
Has your client approved of that plan?
He will, I have actually talked with him about it before. I have.
You've talked to him before?
I know who the person is.
Okay, well, I'm sure you do, but, okay. Okay.
A wetland buffer restoration plan.
So do you think your client would be, that's why it's important to have the builder here, or the owner?
I've had these discussions with my client prior to
You haven't
coming
even- wait a
here.
minute. Let me finish.
Sorry.
Would your client be amenable to putting such a buffer around the entire wetland area here?
Can you, I don't know about the entire periphery, but my suggestion is, depending on the regrading and how that site gets regraded, so when we regrade the property, to direct the water to go. There's going to be swales. We can have those be vegetated swales. We can certainly put individual on-site stormwater buffer protection in the critical spots. I'll definitely start with critical. I think the periphery may not be necessary because not all of the natural vegetation is going to be disturbed or altered at all during the development and the construction. But with this driveway, we can certainly put it in place there. I don't know if he's building the homes. And that's why I'm leaving it slightly
He could just be
vague.
selling the lots.
I'll be honest, I don't know. I might have been told the answer.
He
I
wants to
don't
put in
rem-
a road.
He has to build the road.
That was
We
his
have to,
plan.
we're doing that and we're taking care of the driveway. We can certainly put something in place absolutely for 7.1. We can put 7.0 to receive a buffer protection, replanting if it is necessary. But that particular parcel, that proposed lot is already mostly open. It's a field. It used to be the grass. It's all field right now. And what is there for vegetation? It's mature pines. And it's all within the existing buffer. So 7.0, there's gonna be no removal of trees because what's there is within that buffer zone. And the rest of it's all grass. And for proposed lot 7.2, you can see on the plans, sheet 4 of 14, the existing tree line, again, is that wetland setback is in front of the existing tree line. So there's gonna be no additional disturbance to that buffer. Only proposed lot 7.1 is having any kind of activity within the wetland buffer, which is the lot that, do you not see?
No, I see, I see.
Because 7.1, there's no change, the existing tree line is behind the wetland buffer as it is. And proposed lot 7.2, the existing tree line is behind the wetland buffer as it is. So that little section in front of the existing tree line to the wetland buffer, I could put a planting plan together for that to reestablish that vacancy. And I could reestablish some plantings on proposed lot 7.1, just to
Can-
get that buffer established again, because it's non-existent right now.
Well,
Okay, so let's continue down the list because,
yeah.
Well, that's pretty much the end of the
So-
list.
Okay,
okay, so we're at the end of the list and, Jen, do you have anything else you would add to the list?
well, we will probably add more once we have more information.
Lisa, do you have anything you want to add?
Thank you.
Bob, do you have anything you want to add to the list?
No,
Deb?
No, not right now, but I recluse the right to add later.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so, thank you. And I guess everybody's here because they would like to make some comments. So why don't we let them make comments?
You can't.
You can,
can't.
they have,
You
you're
can't?
not voting on anything.
This wasn't publicly, it wasn't noticed.
Okay,
Butters will be noticed when it goes to planning board and they will have a chance to speak then.
okay, so.
They know
you-
that?
Probably not.
Oh.
So you've heard the list that we've accumulated, and we will probably add some more. And that list will be shared with the planning board. And when you send out the planning board agenda, you will have this list attached to it?
No.
No, what you recommend will be sent to staff and they will put it in their staff report and present to that planning board.
Right, okay, so it will be, you'll be able to hear it.
As for the audience, if you have any concerns,
It's not open.
you can email the planning department or come down and speak
Planning
to us.
department told us that we could speak at this tonight.
It's not an open discussion.
I know,
We
they-
do-
It
we-
was not open discussion, but we were allowed to make comments and only comments. That was it.
We
There's
do
no
have a
permit.
public hearing tonight, so,
But
wasn't
but Dean
open.
hasn't opened the meeting.
And
So
secondly,
legally-
the TLC never
but
happened.
what I'm just saying
Didn't go
is
through.
that
I-
maybe that's why they told them that.
Yes, and I confirmed with the planning director and said, is public blood and legally, no, they cannot make comments on CUPs.
So they can't make a comment on the CUP, on this application?
Correct.
Okay.
We were allowed to comment on our own property. The impact of it.
But
And-
it's
and
just,
it-
it's
and it
just not
never-
the right forum here.
Okay, but it
needs
never
to be-
passed
it needs to
TC,
be-
just so you're
it
aware
needs
of
to
that.
be- I understand, I do.
Well, wait a minute.
But it needs to be addressed at the
Jess.
planning board.
I was
for
at the
December
meeting at
2nd.
TC, it did not pass, it's going to the next meeting, planning board. So you lied to begin with, so that's all I want.
No, wait a minute, no. That's not appropriate. I don't want to hear that kind of
I
language.
won't.
So the process was started by the TRC, and comments were given there. Then they go to the Conservation Commission.
No comments were allowed at the TC.
No, yeah,
Right.
public comment doesn't happen at TRC. The only
It's
time
just for
public comment
in-house.
Is at planning board, because
Right.
they get noticed.
Right, but you can attend the TRC.
Correct.
You can attend, you cannot make comments just like
Right,
tonight.
and you can't make comments here, but you can listen to this presentation, and then you can go to the planning board and you can make comments there. And at the planning board, you will have our comments and you have the TRC comments.
But as a homeowner, they can register comments or questions to
to-
you,
yes.
and then they can be given to us also. So if you do have questions or comments for our board, you can do it that way. We don't want anybody to not be heard. I mean, as a taxpayer, for sure.
But I think that you can give your comments to the planning department, give them to Savannah and at the planning department, and,
The public hearing is at the planning board, and that's
Right,
where
right.
the
That's-
planning board will
That's what we
stop the
just- that's what we said.
presentation and open
Right.
it up to public forum.
Right.
And that's the procedures.
that's what we said.
I think what the chairman is saying is if for some reason people can't attend the planning board, they could they could comment to the planning department, and the planning department would be the representative at the planning board because they made a comment prior. I
Right.
think that's what we're trying to get at.
I got myself with the
You're
staple.
giving your blood. Okay,
That's it. I mean, thank you.
Right.
Thank you
Thank
all
you.
for coming out, you know, it's.
and if we have more questions, we'll also get in touch.
Everybody, thank you very much for your time, and I hope everybody enjoys their Thanksgiving.
You too.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we're gonna go back to the original agenda for the Conservation Commission meeting, and that will start out with review of the minutes from the last meeting, from the November 5th meeting.
I move that we accept the minutes of the November 5th, 2025
Thank you for coming.
meeting as presented.
Thank you.
Okay, let's just-
I know, this is my business card. I want to hand them out.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
I'll second that. Did you second it
Oh,
already?
you do it.
Okay, so are there any additional comments on the minutes from the November 5th meeting? No other comments? Okay.
Okay to me.
All in favor of accepting the minutes from November 5th, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you.
So that procedure seems backwards to me. So if a developer is coming in and wants to do something with the land and abutters are upset about it, shouldn't they talk to somebody first about that? Shouldn't they have, like, the opportunity to speak out first before
If-
they do this and before they, you know, it's
If we
like,
put- Well, if we adopt a policy to on every item on our agenda, public input or something, could we get around that by having it on our agenda each time? And if nobody shows up, fine, we move on. But that way it's noticed. It's public, it's noticed that the public can speak.
it just seems for them to have to wait to go to the planning board is getting the cart in front of the horse. You know, I mean, all of that work is done by scientists and everything, and,
Yeah.
you know, it seems to me like when something's proposed, people should be able to talk about it. Quite clearly, they have concerns.
Well, and for the number of times we actually have somebody here, I don't think
Right.
it would get in our way if we did it
Right,
that way.
I mean,
I don't know legally how you'd have, I can ask. for
yeah,
sure.
could you check with Rob on
Yeah,
that?
if you,
Yes.
that would be,
That
you know,
would be good. Because it just seems like I said, it seems like they could put all kinds of money into developing a plan, and if the public doesn't want it, and, you know,
Or they could come up with a really good, either piece of information or idea that we didn't hear
I
about.
mean, right, I mean, if somebody lives in that area,
They're already obviously very upset that they feel they were lied to. I mean, tonight, they feel, somebody
Yeah.
said we were already lied to, so I think
yeah,
that's
I
something,
don't understand.
yeah.
I mean, I think we need to leave open space, I'm sorry, but
Well,
there's just certain places for it that are better than not, and obviously that's not a good place. So,
water fountain's gone?
Yes, we don't have them anymore.
Oh, Jesus.
I know.
cutbacks or what?
Yeah, it seems that way.
I think the other thing is we should have the if the TRC meeting takes place before our meeting, we should have the comments from the TRC meeting.
I think,
But that was a tight turnaround, for sure.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any difference.
you know,
If you don't, if we don't have the TRC, then I'm sorry, we can't comment on your project.
instead of TRC minutes, it is up to department heads to turn in, their recommendations and concerns as well. So maybe we can compile those and give them to you guys instead
Yeah.
of minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, that's
we
fine.
have those prior to TRC, and that includes planning, fire, police, like everybody.
right.
We can try to, for next time,
Yeah,
I will
'cause-
make sure.
You're under that 5 business day,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
In other words, she's not required to have actual minutes.
Right,
in-
for 5
Right,
business days.
right.
But we were at a loss because,
Well, I don't think we've ever been held to the strictness of, I'm just here for a CUP for a driveway. We've always looked at a whole project. And so,
Well,
And-
It has come up before, though, that occasionally somebody will feel like it's a curveball because they didn't realize that the Conservation Commission is taking that broader view of a project.
I guess, yeah, I
You
mean,
know, I mean,
yeah,
I-
we
I
do
have to-
overstep
So-
sometimes.
Well, I'm not gonna say it's an overstep, because I think, sometimes we ask lighting questions, and that's kinda like, well, that's not, what is conservation?
Right.
How
But
is that
but it wasn't
lighting?
specifically a CUP to. you know,
Yes, that's
for
right,
Wetland, yeah,
that's right.
I
So-
mean, but,
I think that's, I mean, I personally think that's typical from what I've seen in other situations. I know I've seen it happen on zoning as well, where it's like the request is for like this very specific thing, but, especially in those situations where public is able to comment, there's a lot of, I don't wanna call it overreach, but there's definitely, I don't think, it's hard to look at just like one piece, like nothing is happening in a vacuum, so
and I
it's
don't
like,
think
of
it's a
course
bad
you're-
thing, but
No, I don't either, I'm just
I was
saying, we're
afraid
not,
to ask a lot of questions because I didn't want to get my head chewed off.
I didn't care.
I mean, I had a question about the turnaround of the road for fire trucks. Don't they usually, I mean, I thought they had to
Yeah.
have like
Yeah,
a,
they do.
Well, Savannah did say, though, that the fire department has made comment.
Right.
So.
And so going forward, we can try to provide you the comments from other departments. So those
yeah, I just
questions
didn't
will
feel
be-
prepared at all for this
Yes, yeah.
situation.
It-
Not through anyone's fault, it was
Well,
just,
I think, I don't remember an applicant. I'll stop there.
Well,
I
we've,
remember.
I mean, I think, Deb, I will follow, I'm sorry, I'll just bring up one more thing. I think questions like snow removal, snow storage, that's all within our purview, and that should have been, I think, addressed.
well,
with-
and the other part of it is that I'm so used to now somebody coming in before us with like a whole development or a
Yeah, yeah.
condo or something, that it's like, for a minute, I'm like, wait, these are separate lots, you're not building them all, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was,
Yeah.
I was thrown.
And several of those lots looked like they had swimming pools in their backyard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, okay, let's stock them with fish and we can
I
fish
don't-
there too.
yeah.
I mean, let's go right back to the south down
Yeah.
in Long
The
Bay,
the
Mount,
seven-
that's really cool, I love that.
The 7.1 lot is the one that they're building the driveway for, shouldn't be allowed, I'm sorry.
And I mean, we
I don't
can't,
feel.
I mean, maybe we can. Can we have the developer, quote-unquote developer, and the wetland scientist both required to be here?
I don't think you can require it.
But
We
it's,
can't- we can't require it.
but it's, you know what it is? It's like when we were having conversations about putting, wetland buffer enhancement plan, that would, if, in the past, what would happen is the applicant would be here, not the wetland scientist alone, and we would say, would you entertain doing that? Would you do that? Because if you would, then let's take out a piece of paper and let's draw a line and show us where you would put that. And it's, sometimes, I mean, we have been accused
Yeah.
of overreach. And you know what? We do overreach. I would admit it, because we don't look at it as just like, oh, piece of paper, stamp it, piece of paper, stamp it. We look at it, how can we improve this project? Which is not, when you go to the RSA, that's not exactly what we're supposed to do, but that's,
Can you remind me, is the developer going to be at the planning board meeting?
He doesn't have to because she's authorized to be his agent.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be, okay, I was just
Yeah.
curious. Okay, thanks.
So at the planning board, are they taking up the idea of putting the road in, or just the driveway CUP? I mean, is that all they're talking about?
I'm not sure. That would be a great question that I can ask.
Well, that's a question we can raise if
So-
we go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just don't know what they're, what are they asking for? I mean, we got the CUP about that one driveway, but are they asking to be able to put the whole road in? Is that what they're, I mean, that would make, it seems like they're out of sync, but,
I thought they had to get an application to build, to get the approval
road
to
first.
build the road and all of the buildings.
right.
I think their original the application that you got tonight was the application they submitted for planning board, which was, I'm reading straight off their application. It says proposal includes the creation of 5 single-family residence lots to be accessed by existing established right-of-way off of Old North Main Street.
That's it.
That's all their
They're
application is.
they're not applying to build houses.
Creation of
They're
5
gonna create
single
5 lots.
Right.
With the plan to build 5 single families on them.
So I'd ask the question, will they be coming, when those houses get built, will they be coming to the Conservation Commission? I think I'd ask that question early
Yeah,
on.
I mean,
I can ask.
so I think the request that I would make, and certainly, you know, the whole commission has to agree to this, is that the developer or owner, or whomever, come before us before they can start putting a shovel in the ground. So they get the approval to put in a road, and they get the approval to subdivide the site into 5 lots, then come and talk to us, because when you look at that project, when you look at the diagram, there is a tremendous amount of wetland that is going to be impacted.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not necessarily gonna be digging in it, but they're gonna be right up against it, and,
Whether it's junk wetland or not,
and.
it's wet.
I-
I know.
No, I mean, I think the state has, several years ago, sort of debunked the theory that there are junk wetlands.
Right.
I'm just,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and maybe you don't know this, Savannah, but do you know what the main concerns are from those abutters? Is there a concern that their property is gonna get wetter, or are they concerned they just don't want anybody back there, or?
So I know at least 4 of the people that were out there tonight came in and had a meeting with Rob.
Cool.
Already to discuss their concerns. So I
But you don't know specifically what they
I
were?
don't.
Okay.
I know, I'm pretty sure he brought them up at TRC maybe, Rob did, but I wasn't at TRC, so.
So she kept going back to Long Bay and Southdown. I lived there. And there were guys who cut down trees. They cut down a lot of trees. And people who never had water in their basements before had water in their basements. And they couldn't figure out why. And it wasn't because we got a lot of rain. So, I wanted to know if the houses are all gonna have basements. They're gonna have basements, and the water is 10 inches below the ground? Probably not a good idea unless you're
Yeah.
subterranean swimming pool, maybe, I don't know. So,
No, no, I need to take a break.
okay,
Okay.
all right. Okay, we'll wait for you. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is the public hearing, now that we cleared off the public.
Well, I think that might have caused some confusion too, because it did say public hearing, but it was a public hearing specific to
Right, right.
the,
And that's, yeah.
the NRI budget and not anything else. So I think maybe that caused a little bit of confusion.
I know, and we didn't have like a, what does the council have? Agenda, items not on the agenda.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
it's
really.
on the agenda.
But,
So Lisa?
Yeah.
Were you able to get this thing from last meeting that we were gonna put in the paper?
oh, God. I did the library thing, but I forgot that thing.
you did.
Okay,
I did
All right.
forget, I'm sorry. I can text her. Oh,
Okay.
wait a minute.
Thank you for doing the library thing.
Yeah.
That's always
Yeah.
good information.
I actually think I did ask Jan, and she said and she said she has to look. I did ask her, and the answer is I don't know.
I mean,
You wanted to put that in the paper?
Yeah.
Which one did you want? The yard one? Yard care?
No, it was,
I like the one with the otter.
yeah, the otter.
Yeah,
What
does
you
it say?
ought to know about yard care.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
I have, yeah. I'm pretty sure I can get that for you.
Do you want this? I mean,
No, I've got 400 million of them.
no, I mean, in terms of putting it in the paper, can we cut it apart and scan it in and have,
she's
I
got
bet
it.
Savannah could do that.
She's,
I bet Savannah could do
yeah.
that.
What
I know, but I
I,
think,
I'm sorry, I have it as a PDF.
yeah,
Oh, good. Oh, perfect.
That is what I'm
Okay.
saying.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I have it as a
Okay.
PDF.
Even better.
Yeah, okay.
So do you think the paper would do that?
Well, it would cost you.
What,
That's what
well,
I
if, then find out how much it'll cost. Can you do that?
This is me, okay, yeah, I'll write myself a note.
You want a piece of paper?
Are you
No,
leaving?
I got, no, I got
I
plenty.
can do
man.
that too if you want.
And, yeah, I mean, if it's gonna cost us money to get information out to the public, I don't think there's a problem. I don't have a problem with that, using
Here's-
money
here-
from our
Depends on
budget.
how much it is.
Well, I can, like I told you, I know,
Information's priceless.
when we
Education's
put in something,
$1,000, that's a lot.
got, when we put in something that's like this size, right? Like, this is the newspaper, when we put in something
Yeah.
like this size, it's like $300 and something.
That's what I mean, if you're talking a whole
What
page.
I would do, suggested, is I would put an ad in the paper that if you go to the Laconia E-News, there's a free poster on the Laconia E-News on yard care from your otter.
So put like one of those,
I would put a notice in the, and we, yeah, you could inexpensively do that for a couple of publications. And direct people, and I don't know how many people read the E-News.
Nancy is the one that does it, but we can ask her to put stuff in the
She-
e-links.
She could resize it to be a page.
Yeah, and I think she would have no problem
go put it
adding
under her door. Nancy, put this in the.
Well, I'm just saying, I think that might be the more cost-effective way to do that.
Okay,
You can, we don't have a Facebook page, but we do have a web page. We still have a place on the
Yes.
Yeah.
We do have
website.
a website.
We,
yeah, but nobody goes to her website. What about,
sometimes I
what,
do.
what's the restriction on a Facebook page for us?
We've been through this before,
Yeah.
someone has
I
to
know,
keep it up.
I know.
Well, it's not only that, there's well, I didn't mean to interrupt, go ahead.
No, Rob's looking into a Facebook page. We've been trying since we got the master plan up and running. It's a lot harder than you think.
Yeah.
Like, we have run into every obstacle, I think, and we've been trying to do this since like the summer.
And what I found was when I talked to several other municipalities, they had all very, very, very strict rules about what could be posted and why. And so, like, with the Conservation District, we have much more freedom about what we post, and it's up to us to say, I don't post anything about our personal, I don't put any personal information about people like volunteers or whatever. That's our policy, not to do that. But the cities have, the municipalities have much more rigorous rules.
So can we go around Robin Hood's barn and put this on BCCD's
It
website?
should be there, it
and
should be
then-
there.
And then have us link our site
But
to yours and ask Nancy to put in a standing
Let's,
advertisement that says, please go to the Belknap County Conservation District site to see.
well, let's do this. I appreciate the brainstorming on this. I will look into options and come back with options about this.
Okay, and see, I mean, if there's a cost involved, then you shouldn't bear that cost.
Whoa, the Conservation District is not bearing any costs right now.
I was giving you like a quick get off.
I think if we did put it on the Laconia links, I feel like more people would see it. I mean, because people read that every week.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you need to put a smidget in the paper, because I don't think people are, besides me, would see a smidgen in the paper and go to a specific website on your
Okay.
lawn. I just think if it's on there, and then at the bottom, maybe we could say, for more conservation, ideas, great ideas, information, and then link it up.
Okay.
But you check into that.
Yeah, I got it on my mortgage payment.
There we go. We know that won't get put aside.
That's right.
Okay, so let's do this. Given that it's now 6:45, let's do the
Public
public
input,
hearing.
yeah.
Public hearing for spending conservation funds. So under RSA 675:7, public hearings for expenditure of money from the conservation fund for real property. I would like to open the public hearing at 6:45 PM on November 19th, 2025. So the proposal that we're making is to spend money from the Conservation Fund to prepare a chapter for the new master plan that is currently being prepared. And we are specifically allocating funds to pay for the natural resource chapter. And we have gotten estimates from Resilience Planning and Design, who is the consultant that the city is using to prepare other chapters of the master plan. And they gave us two options. And those options aren't there. Okay, there are two options.
Tyler's email. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, they're in Tyler's email. Okay, so the two options are, option one is just to prepare a chapter of what was identified in the NRI and relate it to the vision and future land use strategies in the master plan. So that would identify and implement actions, and is formatted to fit into the master plan with no additional public outreach. And the cost of that would be between $12,000 and $15,000. So that's option one. Option two is to do an NRI, use the NRI to prepare strategies for open space and conservation planning in the city. The consultant would develop the chapter more like the one that they've created for the city of Dover, which they have just finished preparing, and there is a link here that you can go and look at the city of Dover's document. And this would include targeted outreach and items identified in option one. So option two would include all of option one, as well as public outreach. And the cost of that option would be $25,000, approximately $25,000. And these are estimates that were prepared by Resilience Planning and Design. So we have, the purpose of the public hearing is to obtain comments regarding expending funds from the Conservation Fund, which we have a sufficient amount to cover either one of these options. So what we need to do is decide which of the two, first of all, we need to decide, are we going to expend the funds from the Conservation Fund?
Are there any public opinions? And we can close that part, correct?
No, I think we should leave it open until we decide which option we want to.
I think,
Fine.
no, I think, don't you have to close the public
Usually you.
public input first?
Right, you give
And
your.
then we
Okay,
vote.
all right. Okay, there's seeing no public input. Thank you.
We will
Okay,
close
so now
the
we'll go
public
to, we'll close that portion of the public hearing, and we'll go to the other
at 6:49.
6:49 and 43
Right.
seconds. And now we'll go to the option, since we have decided that we're gonna spend conservation funds, we need to decide which one of these options we wanna expend funds for. So do we wanna go option one, which is $12,000 to $15,000, or option two, which is $25,000?
And option two would include
All of
option one.
All of option one,
Yeah.
and
plus,
that's plus, yeah.
I think it's really important that we have a plan that will identify and preserve areas for conservation and open space. So I make a motion that we go with option two for this study to be completed.
I'll second that.
okay. Any public comment?
No, we already closed this meeting.
Okay, what do other people in the commission think?
Well, I think it behooves us to assist the planning department by generating a report that they feel that they can have greater use, it's greater use from. So option two gives them more meat to work with than if we gave them option one and they felt geez, too bad we don't have that other information.
Right, I think the more information that we can give the city to help them plan, the better. And, that's what we're here for. We're here to tell them what to conserve. Or we try to, anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I think, option one to me feels a little like Cliff Notes, which feels like it might not, it's not gonna provide as much information, and I think of this too as like, if this was maybe just like a plan for a year, then maybe that would suffice, but, we're looking at, what was the last one done, was like 10 years ago or something?
2007, I think. Isn't that the current master plan? 2007?
I think it was,
Oh, yikes, that's,
yeah, I think it was
11?
10 or
Okay.
11, yeah.
so I feel like if, this is something that, and I think it's really important, so I'm on board with number two.
Okay, so I went to the City of Dover's document, and the first chapter that they had was called Goals and Objectives of Open Spaces. And they identified key open spaces. They went to all of the open spaces that we had and recreation areas, and they linked them up so we could see how they work together, like for migration routes and different transportation routes for wildlife. They came up with a description of improvements that should be done to gain access to natural resource areas. They evaluated the development to protect natural resource and open spaces, and they encouraged the public and private partnerships between the city and land conservation groups and public landowners. I thought that chapter was really important. And then they had another chapter that was on the conservation lands where they did an audit and they outlined an inventory using GIS data. And then in certain areas, they went and ground truth to make sure that they had done that, that they had accurately described the value, the natural resource value of those parcels. And then, and that second chapter was prepared by a consultant, and I can't read my writing. It's something in Ingram, and I can't remember it. But it may be I think it would be valuable, not to put the cart before the horse, that we start to think about using a consultant to do that audit. You know, because what I'm afraid of is that we're going to, land is going to, you know, while they're doing this master plan, land is going to be developed and it's too late. Horse is out of the barn. And so I think that the sooner we can get this information together in a format that is understandable to the public, that they hopefully would better appreciate why we want to preserve open spaces and conserve land, so.
So Dover had, when they had this done, they had just wrapped up an NRI,
Right,
which they helped to use it.
right.
So would whoever does this, would they be waiting for our NRI to be done?
The answer is yes. So the first thing that has to be done is the NRI. Then we have to do the master plan chapter on natural resources using the NRI. And then, so
So
I
the
think the NRI, I mean, the master plan schedule is to be completed in a year, is that right?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I think that's what they said in the meeting the other night.
But didn't they say our NRI could take that long?
When I talked to Sarah Sullivan at FB Environmental, she said it will not take that long. They could expedite it.
Okay.
So,
Is the level of NRI we've hired them to do going to be complementary to option 2? Because isn't this this is not a ground NRI, this is a desktop NRI, right?
No. No,
I-
it's,
I didn't think
FB
they,
is they're doing some groundwork too.
that's out of the scope of their work, out of the $19,000. It's out of the scope. Ground
Oh.
truthing is out. So that's,
Or were they gonna use us?
well,
I thought-
so
yeah.
that brings up, so let's just, which
Vote on
of,
this.
which of the
sorry.
two options do we want to use?
We have a motion.
Motion on the floor.
We have a motion on the floor.
We
okay.
were in discussion.
right.
Okay, all right. All in favor of option 1, say aye.
No,
No, this
the
is
option was,
for
the motion was for
2.
option 2.
Okay, all right, in favor of option 2, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, Jesus Christ.
That,
You know-
that public
you
hearing
know-
shook you up tonight.
Accustomed to what people being so combative. Okay, all right, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna, you will tell Rob and Tyler we're going with option 2. Thank you very much. God, if we don't get anything else out of this meeting, we'll get that.
So, go ahead.
I'm sorry. So Savannah, since they've had a discussion about this, and I'm assuming that since they're both pretty bright guys, they will have figured out that the level of the NRI that we're paying for is not ground truthing, right? Do we need to even just mention that to them, or,
I will,
yeah, we're just
Just
wondering
to-
if it's
yeah.
compatible with option 2.
yeah.
Okay.
I would suspect that they wouldn't have told you.
Suggested that if
No,
it wasn't,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think that,
yeah,
but I will,
okay, and they can laugh at me.
yeah.
No, we can- So, I think that in terms of ground truthing, I think we're gonna have to be responsible for part of that.
Right.
Oh, great, nice, that was good, okay, well, I'm on another planet now.
We know that.
Okay, okay, so I went to the NRI from 2009. And the reason I did that is because I talked to Mike Foote the other day, and I said, hey, Mike, do you know where those 9 streams are, A through I? And he's like, oh, yeah, they're in the streams and rivers section, rivers and streams section of some document. I'm like, oh, okay. So I went to the NRI for 2009, and the streams are in there.
Great, thank
So
you.
that's the good news.
Yeah.
They're not identified as A through I, but they're in there, you can see them.
Okay.
The other thing that's in there is a map that has specific locations of vernal pools. So, so back to ground truthing, I think all this information we need to get together, and we need to get it to FB Environmental so that they can incorporate that into their document, because we'll just be wasting resources that we already have available. There is also a document called the entire EPA Smart Growth Report, and it's on the city's website. And I haven't looked at it yet, but, okay, so,
It's good that it's there. I wonder if anybody else looks at it.
I don't know. So, I lost my agenda. It's, wait a minute, maybe I
Are we
did.
doing
No,
Paugus Bay?
no.
Yeah, so we're done.
Paugus Bay drinking water?
Oh, here we are. Look at that, back. Okay, so now we're down at old business. And so there was a drinking water update. I think it was the first progress report conducted by FB Environmental with DES, Lakes Region Planning Commission, people from the city. Gray was there. And,
He sent us the
I-
notes.
what?
And he sent us the notes.
He sent us the notes, but we got the notes from FB Environmental also, which were, they're much more technical, because they talk about different types of cyanobacteria and what they're gonna do, and they all these. So if you wanna read those, they're there, and they talk about different types of things that they have so that they can collect the cyanobacteria. And one of the areas that they talked about generally was Langley Cove and the cyanobacteria that could be originating there, Langley Cove. So, anyway, so it's there if you want to read it. If you don't want to read it, it's still there. In the future, when we have those kinds of meetings, who's going to go? Will Gray go?
I think it's gonna be split between Scott and Gray, maybe?
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, so we just identify it, and then Rob will decide which way. Okay, okay, good. Okay.
I mean, I'm glad that we have all the notes. That's great.
So I think it's interesting that the next item on the agenda is aquifer map. Because when they were talking about this site, I wanted to ask how the groundwater from that location is linked to Tardif and to the property across the street where the gas station is, that abuts the
Yeah.
gas station.
Yeah.
They're all connected. And from there, it probably connects right up to Pearly Pond and up behind Pearly Pond, up along
Yeah, makes sense.
Blueberry Lane.
It's not an aquifer area on
It's
this
not,
map.
right.
I know it's not,
Right.
and
Yeah.
maybe that's because they're talking about a deeper aquifer. I'm talking about the surface aquifer,
Yeah.
so anyway. Okay, no. want to go down to commissioners' comments.
Are we skipping over the aquifer?
Well,
Or you
what-
just-
okay, you want to talk about the aquifer? What are we going to talk about with the aquifers?
I'm just gonna say that we have a big, disbursement in the southern end of the city. And we just have to keep that in mind when people, when developers are coming. 'Cause if you, this is way out of our realm, but Iran has a terrible drought situation right now. And they've had 6 years of drought and many more years of mismanagement of their water and their aquifers. And their city capital, Tehran, has no water now. And they're actually thinking of evacuating their capital. And the people are all up in arms because the government had no long-term restrictions on this water, and now it's too late. And I don't want to be in a situation like that.
Did we adopt an aquifer overlay district?
We didn't,
No.
So that's the
But we-
first step.
right. And that's what we did talk about that.
I'll be honest with you, this map is still a little rudimentary for me to make any kind of
Agreed.
substantive discussion.
It's what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
This map is not, I'm not comfortable having a substantive discussion using the rudimentary elements of this map. I would want something much more.
Not specific enough.
Yes, much more detail.
But you can see that it's actually in the area of where the sand pits are
Well, yeah, that
and,
makes sense.
and the dog park and everything.
Yeah,
Well, it's that area, so.
so I don't know everything, I'll be very honest with you, because I don't work in enforcement. But I think adopting an aquifer overlay district, and then with that comes notifications and signage and all that. We may also get into talking to DPW about salt restriction area, or we might, you know what I'm just saying, it comes into broader discussions
Right.
down the road. So
Once it's confirmed, once you
Yeah.
have the aquifer.
Well, I thought when we had the discussion with Gray, and I apologize, I don't remember, but I know we talked about going to the DES, because it was Paul Suska who had the stratified drift aquifer mapping and all that other stuff so all that's been done, and aquifers are, unless they are sucked dry, my understanding is that aquifers are much less transient than other forms, than surface waters.
Right.
So, I would think that mapping is still something that's valuable to us as information to make a decision about an aquifer overlay district. So I know, the Belmont, Tilton, Northfield is a huge aquifer overlay district.
Right.
I don't know if we wanna go to any of them and ask them about establishing an aquifer overlay district. I'm not sure if Alton also has one with the Merry Meeting area, I don't know, but,
When you do an overlay district, and maybe you don't know this answer,
Don't.
do we have to, so if you look at this map, rough as it is, you can see that there's a lot in the south end, but then you've got that section over by Governor's Island.
yeah.
So do you have to make each section of that like an overlay, or how does it work?
I don't know how it works.
Like if you have to specify different zones?
I think there is a procedure for,
Maybe that's a question for Rob.
It could depend on what kind of aquifer it is. Like, if this is a stratified drift as opposed to a perch, there are different kinds of aquifers,
Right, right.
so.
Well, it's interesting, this one by Governor's Island is right near you-know-whose property. That,
Yeah, I know.
the big wetlands out there.
Yeah, yeah. So, Mr. Chair, did you want to assign staff, or should one of us take it upon ourselves to do some legwork on the first steps of establishing an aquifer overlay district? Should that be staff, or should that be one of us calling
I think Belmont would be the best place to get in touch with.
Well, they have their own, the Tilton Northfield Belmont Aquifer, I believe, has their own established entity managing that. I mean, we can call Belmont, but I think there's like an actual person that,
That's a source of their drinking water.
yeah,
I
but,
think,
Mhm.
I mean, if I remember correctly, I think Rick Ball said he had a lot to do with that,
That's right.
okay.
that he helped set that up.
Would we like to invite Mr. Ball to give us a presentation just on that?
I could.
I have a question. What if we were to form a subcommittee and ask Rick to head it up?
That's your call, Mr. Chairman.
Hmm?
That's your call, Mr. Chairman.
Well, I know, but I'm asking for,
I would certainly think he's a valuable resource if he's agreeable to that. I wouldn't have any objection.
He's gonna be heading south pretty soon, I
Oh,
think
that's
so.
right.
it's okay.
So,
You can do it from down there. You can do it remotely.
Get your margarita ready and do this work.
should we, first step, maybe just have him come and talk to us about it?
Yeah, the next
Or-
meeting is the 3rd of December. When does he leave?
I don't know.
So you want to call on, but
I'll-
ask him?
I'll
Yeah.
talk
Okay,
He's watching and packing right now.
Really?
backing faster than
Sure.
it was 10 minutes ago. I mean, I think the other thing we can do is reach out to the state geologist and ask, you know, he's got to have information about the stratified drift aquifer. If he was,
Well, or any of them. I mean, if you're talking about the state geologist, they would be identified, I think.
right, I'm
There's that,
concerned.
and there's maps, I know there's maps.
There are. I'm concerned about the stratified drift because it's the closest to the surface. Anything you spill on the surface goes into that. And it may not be the source of our drinking water, but I don't know how deep the wells are over along, where I used to live, whatever that is. So, you know, those, because they all have private wells. And
too.
so, I mean, and so I think there's a lot of information that we can get just from the state geologist and then get it from Belmont and Meredith. I bet Meredith has,
So your first question is, should we create a subcommittee?
right,
I have to be honest with you, my life is tentative right now. Not my life, but my work life, or however, the schedule's tentative, so I don't wanna volunteer for that. But
Right.
I could do a one-day thing for you, but I don't wanna be in a committee.
I don't think we have to have a subcommittee, there's few enough of us that we can just, can't we just do, I don't know, I'm sorry, that's just me,
I was thinking about it from the standpoint of doing what we did with Rich Tilton and ask him to go out, and he operates by himself, he comes back, reports to us about the funds that he's been able to cobble together. And so I'm
so
saying,
somebody could be on a subcommittee with not being on the commission?
yeah, we didn't have anybody on the subcommittee, he just went and did it. So if Rick would be willing to, you know, gather existing information and give it to us, or tell us where to get said information,
I can ask you.
that would be.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking about a long-term. you
Right.
know, Stratified drift, aquifers don't drift.
Okay,
I feel like if we had more information about what is involved in establishing the overlay district, then that might inform our next steps a little bit more as well. So maybe that would be like step number 1, and then,
good point.
so do you want me to look into
Sure, that would be great. Oh, thank you, Jen, that's great.
And then,
I think you're the perfect person for this.
well, we could, I mean, Rick could tell us that too, and then we could say, oh, yeah, we need a subcommittee.
So let's connect Rick and Jennifer. They don't have to be a committee, but.
Well,
No.
yeah, I'll talk, I mean, he may, like I said, he may be leaving for south, so
Right.
that may be a moot point.
Okay, so if you talk to Rick and he's willing to work with Jen, that would be great.
Okay.
How, anyway,
However it happens.
yeah, I mean,
Or, right.
I mean, we've,
if Deb is able to get the information from Rick, then that works too, or.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Or Rich, who is it? I don't even know who the
There's
person is.
Rick Ball
Rick
and
Ball.
Rich Tilton.
Okay.
So it's Rick Ball.
Yeah.
Ball, B-A-L-L, like the jar.
Like the basket.
Okay. I think it's important. I think it's, so Savannah, when a private homeowner drills a well, do they have to come to the city and notify you that,
It's, I believe it's all, and you know that, it's all mapped out. The city has a map of all the wells.
do they have a map of all the wells? Does the city map shows the depth of the wells?
The planning department does not.
I don't know
Oh,
about,
really?
yeah, I don't know about the depth, but
I mean, and if anybody did, it would be
DPW?
DPW.
Well, if you do, I don't know if you can do a search, a query on the tax cards, because the tax cards, I think, have information about whether it's sewer or well or whatever. I'm just guessing that that might be the way to get it.
I could find out the depth of wells on Layton Avenue just by calling my old neighbors. I know that my well was deeper than theirs because
I have a
was
well,
up
I
in-
don't know how deep my well is.
You don't know how
Me
deep your well
neither.
is?
I have no idea how deep my well is.
No.
Well, okay,
I can find out, but.
People's reactions, hello, how deep's your well?
so,
It must be
no,
a guy
seriously,
thing.
do you have to check to see how deep the water is in your well? Do you do that at all? No, okay, that's,
Which is
okay, we've never had an
Not yet.
Iranian
I'll
problem.
knock on wood.
Yeah, we all have our fingers crossed right now.
Okay, so. Okay. Oh, thank God we're done with that. Okay, so, all right, so we don't have any DES applications, please.
Nope.
Okay, do we have any subcommittees? No, that's good. We have no upcoming events except for Thanksgiving. What about the staff report? Do you have a staff report?
Have you ever had a staff report?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, every meeting.
Yeah, we do.
You do?
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah. Gray would report on.
And our other techs have also done that.
Yeah. Gray would report on things
Sorry.
we've asked him to follow up on, and sometimes we'd have questions for him. And I think
Just kind of what was going on with different
yeah.
developments.
When we did Pumpkin Fest, we talked to Gray, I think it was during the staff report, we talked to Gray a little bit about what we'd like to do, and he was like,
Yeah.
okay. So
And like water sampling stuff, like, it was
Yeah.
like updates on like, mostly just updates like water sampling and, like if they went on site tours that, you know, like he would report back on that, so.
Which is gonna be different, because you're not gonna do that.
I was gonna say, I would love for them to give me a staff report so you guys can look at it, because I will not be providing you a staff report.
Okay, so the one thing that you could do is you could ask them to give you, are there any site inspections that you have done that have a problem that the Conservation Commission should be aware of? So, for instance, when the guy up on 106 did a curb cut to get into his property, we said, hey, what happened there? And Scott, I think it was Scott, checked, found out that the guy, you know, did have a state permit. Because it's a state road, he had to have a state permit. So, I mean, those are the kinds of things, like, maybe we'll see, like, Deb likes the
Porta potties. I'm always checking on the porta potties.
porta potties, that's one of her fortes. Another one is the missile silo over, you know, and
The silt
how
socks.
come they don't have silt socks or silt fencing around that property? And they got it on the uphill side, which is, you know, makes a lot of sense.
Does Savannah know what you mean by the missile silo?
I
Yeah.
do.
Okay.
There's some information that comes from here that gets dispersed.
I see.
Well, any questions like that you can give to me and I will get answers, and
Okay,
Right.
I think it's, unfortunately right now, the roles have definitely switched with you guys having a technician, and I am not a technician. I'm just here to do your minutes.
right.
But any questions I will get answers for.
Right,
So,
right. So
So
That's good.
technically, who's our technician now?
great question for Rob.
okay, so would you ask him that question?
I sure will.
Ask him if we have a
So-
concern, who do we just call you and then you'll divvy out the responsibilities?
So I also asked this question,
Because Gray was specifically hired as our technician.
Right, but,
And now I know they've changed the rules, the roles.
Yep.
But that shouldn't leave us without a technician.
no, so I think whatever questions you have, I give to Rob and Tyler, and they
Okay.
are going to figure out who to give that to.
right,
I don't know if it's gonna be split between our two planner technicians, or if there's gonna be one planner technician that is focused on conservation, but I will clarify that answer.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah?
okay. So, now we're down to the part where it's not on the agenda, because I forgot to put it on. Commissioners' comments.
Goes under business, other business.
Yeah.
Commissioners' comments. I put it on the last one, I forgot to put it on this one. So, any comments? We'll start with Jen.
Okay, I did hear a comment during one of the during the last master plan meeting, that it was mentioned that our meetings are approximately 2 hours. And the comment was, wow, what do they talk about for 2 hours? So I think it's interesting, because
Which
going on to
meeting was this?
the last master plan
Oh.
meeting. So that was the first one after it was the most recent one, basically. I think it was last
You
week.
were talking about us?
They were trying to schedule a meeting, the next meeting or the next meetings, and they were trying
I'm so sorry.
that's okay.
Jesus.
They were trying to find the right time,
Oh, I see.
and
I see.
it came up that one of the times they mentioned happened to be during our meeting.
Gotcha.
And so then they said, oh, well, what time do they get done? And so it's like, it's usually about 2 hours, and the person literally said, wow, what do they talk about for 2 hours? So, that's fine, but I guess to me, that kind of reiterated the need for us to, educate the city council, I guess I would focus on the city council on what we do as a commission and why it's important.
Didn't we come up with a schedule and an outline and all that stuff? I thought you had worked on that, Jen. We had come up
Yeah,
with an outline.
we did.
We need to
it's-
implement.
Well, we came up with the project list, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it'd be great, I mean, I think to have, and, we discussed obviously like the book, the library, the book club things, and I think we have a lot of great ideas, and I think, we're obviously only going to be able to present like a few times a year probably. I don't know how often we're planning on doing that. I think we discussed quarterly. But yeah, I think it'd be great to have like and I tried to actually, I was gonna ask you about the NHACC, because I went on to get more information, because they have a lot of resources on there, but I can't get to them, so I don't know if it's a membership issue or
You couldn't get to their website?
I couldn't click on anything.
Yeah, that, I don't know.
I think I was on my phone, so maybe I'll try it from my laptop
Yeah,
and just see if that was the issue.
Do try it from your laptop, because I don't think there's that membership I don't think you have to be a member to get to that
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
additional information. There were some things that a member, like you had to be on the board for some stuff, but.
Okay, well, I'll look into that and let you know, but, and I went on to UNH's website, and they have a ton of great information. I think the only thing I was thinking was maybe we take like, that was very broad and like very specific to, more like conservation, environmental type things, which I think is great, but I was thinking maybe for the purposes of city council, look at our project list, we could highlight everything, but then say, this is what we're just, pick one thing to discuss, one thing that we've done, or one thing we're working on, or, to kind of just highlight, because I feel like, I don't want to make it so that it's too broad or too specific, I guess, like, you can look at it both ways, but.
Too much.
Too much information, like,
Right.
Like, you don't want it to be like the minutia, right, of,
Right.
like, you want it to be more, and interesting, and, I don't know, I guess.
So I had this revelation in the middle of the night. I woke up and I'm like, oh, I have an idea.
Did you remember it?
Yeah, I did, actually. It's amazing.
I always
that we-
forget those.
That we do the project list like you have prepared, and we give it to the city council at the first meeting in 2026, because there are going to be 2 new councilors and a new mayor. And then we can update it on a quarterly basis, either in person, or we can just submit, because I think the planning department puts it in writing. They have a written report that goes to them. I don't know if they do it in person too. Does the planning department do a oral presentation to the city council saying, these are the 6 things or 5 or things that we're working on?
I think sometimes they talk, I don't know if always, I
But
feel like
they-
if they provide a staff report, they probably talk.
So, okay. So I thought that would be, that would be a time to do it. It would be logical because we have a new city council and new mayor.
Yeah, I think
It's a good idea,
I think that's a
'cause-
great idea.
Yeah, because certain people are already complaining that the city council now is trying to get through things instead of waiting to have them done with the new council.
Oh, yeah, they were talking about
Oh.
that.
It's kind of
Yeah.
silly, it's very silly.
They're complaining about what?
It's-
Some people some of the proposals now in front of the city council, some of the newer people are saying, oh, they shouldn't do those now, they shouldn't put those through or reject them now, they should wait until the
They're
new.
doing a Mitch McConnell.
Oh, okay.
Instead of the new city people doing it. I had a question for Jen. Is there another piece of property for sale on Pickle Pond Road?
No, I think there's
Or is it
some type of
up for auction? Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you know where that, I think it's next to
I know where
our
it is, 'cause
property,
it's
isn't
directly
it?
across the street from me.
It's not, I kept thinking it was next to
It's not
the
on the water.
conservation land. Oh, okay.
Well, I shouldn't say that, it is, but the property, like, the property was, the line was cut so that it's not technically on the water.
So
It
who
is on
owns-
the water
who-
side, but
Right, who owns that waterfront then?
I think it's the next door neighbor.
Oh, that's interesting.
So what's the address? Roughly?
321, I think.
Could be. When's the auction? I can't remember.
I think it's next month, I know, but I'm not sure what the date is. Early next month.
It's just interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah.
How
Oh,
big?
I can picture that now. I can picture the wedge of land, yep.
How big is it?
The property, I think it's like 2 acres.
Yeah, it's a couple acres. There's a cape and a barn, or garage, cape and a garage.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool.
And I do have one of the planning board, I don't know, I guess the summary that they present to the city council. Because I was thinking it'd be nice to like at least see the format so that we can, if we are going to also adopt something like this, that we could, obviously I don't have
Did
access
you find it
to-
online, or?
I don't know if maybe Gray got us a copy or
Oh, okay.
something. Obviously, it's on letterhead, which I don't have, so I wouldn't be able to do something like that. But I'm assuming if I did something similar, I could send it to you, Savannah, and then you could kind of put it in this format, if that's what we want to do. Just
Can you get that report and the latest report from the planning department that goes to the city council and email it to everybody, please?
Like just whatever they're proposing to city council?
Whatever, so Jen has, what's the date on that one, Jen?
I have 8/18 and 10/2. So it's just the planning department monthly report it's from Rob.
And that's from planning board, right?
Oh, this is to planning board.
Yeah, those are
Oh.
Rob, that's pretty much the staff report that Rob gives to the planning board, which is kind of like what Grayson would do for you guys. So
What,
he gives a monthly report.
okay, so that's not the
That's not,
report that goes to the city
So
council.
what okay,
Okay.
I thought that this was what was going to city council, but no, it's
I
not.
can probably find out, I know impact fees, I'm pretty sure is the next thing that's going to city council, so I can probably get that to you guys so you can look it over.
It was, they said it was like a review of what they do, like, did he say they do it quarterly?
Yeah, I thought it was something, so that city council would know.
Yeah, what they're working on,
Basically,
or
yeah.
whatever.
But
So
maybe,
not like specific,
I mean, this does have
projects.
at the bottom, this has, what is going to city council, so it
Oh.
has like, going before city council in October, expected to go before city council in November, like, so it has notes like that, so maybe it's only like those specific items. I guess I misunderstood, I thought it was like kind of a presentation, a summary of
Gotcha.
like, hey, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, they don't, I'm trying to
check
think.
with,
I
you
know,
can ask Rob, because I think he said he did, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he said,
didn't realize that they went to city council and gave reports, but I.
No,
will
I,
follow up.
maybe they sent it to city council.
Well, we have a city council liaison on planning board, which is why I think Rob gives a monthly report. I mean, he gives a monthly report to planning board.
Right.
And we have a city councilor on planning board, so.
So maybe that, maybe that's
Maybe that takes care of what they,
But I can,
Yeah.
I definitely will double check.
because
okay.
I thought he said they, or did Gray say that?
That they submit something to city council quarterly?
I thought that that's what Rob told me.
Okay,
Maybe we misunderstood.
And, I think it would be a good idea to submit our report to the planning board too. You always manage up.
Or we could put it on Laconia Links.
No, no,
No?
my God, no, please.
Okay,
Okay,
that was public outreach.
yeah, really. Maybe anyway. Okay. Is that it?
sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so I guess you guys know from the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions that I've maxed out my terms on that board, so I don't know if they're looking for people or nominations or whatever, but I found that to be extremely interesting. It's a great group because it's statewide, they pull from talent, all over from like marketing and everything, so if you have an interest, I would, in being on that board, I would.
Which one is it? Say it again.
The New Hampshire Association of Conservation
Yeah.
Commissions, and they have like a nominating committee, so if you have any interest, I would reach out to them and just find out, so they're, I can't remember if the meetings are, I think they're every 2 months. And you can Zoom in as well, and it is a nonprofit, so it's not a subdivision of government like this is, so it's, the meetings are, well, I'm just saying,
Yep,
you're
yep.
not being televised and feel like you can't speak freely because you're being televised, so,
Kind of wild anyway.
yeah.
Play it loose and free.
Well, no, I'm just saying, I mean, we've commented before, not that we did anything, you know, undercover, or anything, but you just, you feel, self-conscious. It's, we don't say anything differently, but you just feel subconscious, but anyway. So, I'm just trying to think, there are things coming up. I sent out an email to you guys that, I don't know if you want me to keep doing that one very informative, I forget if it was from Plan Link or whatever, about here are all these places links to click on for information, and I don't know if you want me to keep doing that, sending
Yeah.
it to
Sure.
Savannah to
Yes.
send out, okay.
Yes, we love information.
Okay, well, I just didn't know if you guys were like, you know, doing your own subscriptions to stuff when, or if you want me to just keep sending stuff to you, so. I'm gonna, that's it.
Thank you. Well, thank you for the library thing, for
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you for
checking in
that.
on that, and then, so where does that stand? What, we just have to talk to,
I left it to Jen, we got an email, what do I wanna say, we have an email address to send to one person that they identified, because the person I sent the first inquiry to said, well, I'm not really the person to speak to, this is who you
Right.
need to go to. So, I didn't, because Jen was the one that brought it up, I didn't wanna just like run with it, so I didn't know what people's thought was. What I had proposed in my email to the library was that potentially each Conservation Commission member might take one book and be, like, lead the discussion, or whatever. If you'd like, I don't know, Jen, if you want me to continue with that, or if you feel like you would like to continue since it was your idea, I'm not wedded to anything.
No, I mean, I'm not tied to anything either. I think that,
can we,
Suggest.
can we come back with different books that we might wanna do?
That would be, that was what I was just gonna say, that maybe if we come up with a suggested list, and the library can tell us if they can source them for people.
Yeah.
They may offer counter, they may say, something in that same subject matter,
Genre,
but
yeah.
not, same subject matter, but not that specific book. So I think that's what we should do.
Okay. So
So-
next meeting, we'll bring our book ideas.
I have a book already. I probably have 7 books.
Okay, but hold
I
it
know
till,
what your book
head it
is.
till next
What?
meeting.
I already know what your book is.
No, you don't.
Oh,
No.
really?
I'm reading that one.
He's got some new ones.
Which one? Are you reading
Yeah.
Ethan's book?
Yeah, are you reading it?
Not yet.
Okay.
That wasn't
So
gonna be the book that I thought was yours, though.
What was the book?
It's
All
gonna
right, good.
be Silent Spring.
Oh.
That would be great.
Oh, I thought that was gonna be your book.
No, that would be great, but, so, I mean, anything by Rachel Carson. I have
Right.
like 6 books by her, but anyway. There's a new book that just came out about Rachel Carson and their writings of hers that never got published.
Oh, that's cool.
But there's a book by, I mean,
Bring your list next time.
I think we're getting antsy.
Not to,
Yeah.
not to hurry you along, but.
you're getting kind of bossy
We'll
here.
bring our list. We should
Wanna
keep
go
it to like
next?
5, probably.
What?
Keep it to like 5
yeah, one
books
for
each
each
person.
Okay.
Yeah, really, not too many.
Okay. Okay, and to that end, I talked to Patrick, attorney Patrick Wood.
Wood?
Yep.
And he is the liaison to the board for the library.
Okay.
Because I talked to him about doing a Jane Goodall book, or, because she just passed away.
Sure.
Anyway, so he said, talk to him. Anyway, so he may be the liaison that we need to talk to about.
Well, they gave us a specific person, but I can
Okay.
mention that Pat Wood has a connection to the
Mhm.
Conservation Commission, so, okay.
Yeah, he came here enough times.
I'm not gonna add anything else.
Okay. Bob, you got anything to add?
Not particularly.
Okay.
It's getting a little less noisy at Taylor. They're almost done with their blowing and mowing the leaves.
Oh, my God. Oh, God. And you know that Paula Chambers wants to set up composting for leaves on people's individual properties.
She does? Oh my, who's gonna do it?
Don't talk to me. I hate leaves.
I
I think they should stay on the trees.
I saw this great, I would never would have thought of it, because I don't have a weed whacker. Just fill a big barrel with it and then put the weed whacker in it and it mulches all your leaves right up. You ta-
That
you
is
can-
a good idea.
Yeah, I never would have thought of it, because I don't have one, but
That's a horrible idea.
But then you're taking the leaves off of the grass,
You're
which they
killing all
tell
the
you to
things-
leave
you're
the
killing all
You
the
just
things
ground
in
up all of the,
I
My
know.
neighbor would love it though, because I don't rake
I-
my leaves and they kind of blow. And
Dean,
he's like
because
out there all the time.
I put on a Leave the Leaves thing on our website. I know that, but I'm just saying, if that's, I went, wow, that's kind of cool.
So Taylor cuts them up, puts them in piles, I leave them down at the end of Kinsman, and I go down and pick them up and I put them in my compost.
Well, they don't last all that long.
Recycling.
They pick them up and I don't know just where they take them.
It's, I don't know, anyway.
Can I, without being offensive to anybody, make a motion to adjourn, or do you?
No, we got.
You got more things to do?
Two
Okay.
things, we got, Deb's gonna go next.
I just wanted, the only thing I was gonna say was about Pat Tarpey. What's-
No, you're not gonna, no, don't say that, don't say it,
Okay,
seriously,
sorry.
don't say it.
Sorry. Okay, that's all I have.
God, now I'm gonna lay
Okay.
awake at night going, oh,
No, you won't,
Tell you
you
that.
won't. And I just have a question to ask Rob, when our budget requests are due for the Conservation Commission? And if he has some, guidelines that we should stay within, like keep it within last year's or something like that. And the other thing, I would like to encourage everybody to make comments on the master plan. Now's the time to do it, and I haven't done it, so. Okay, and then the next meeting is the 3rd of December. And that's all that I have. So,
not that this is like probably gonna affect anybody so much here, but, so I think the Belknap County Commissioners, well, it's actually a delegation meeting, tentatively will have their first budget meeting December 2nd, but it's real tentative, it's not in stone, so don't write it down necessarily, but they're already starting the budget process for the county, I think.
okay.
I'll not second it, but reiterate what you said about the comments on the master plan as well, because during the meeting the other night, I think they said they only had 5 comments so far, which
Oh
I
my
was kind of
gosh.
surprised about. I was thinking they would get a ton, and there's only 5, so
How do you do that?
there might be more now,
Is-
but.
Is there a link on the website?
There's a link on the
Yes,
website.
there's a link on the website.
So,
Okay.
Also have poster boards downstairs. If you're not a website person, you can come downstairs and we have sticky notes and you can literally stick them right to the poster board.
And-
Yep.
so
Have you
could-
gotten any
Downstairs
that way? Nope.
In the planning
In
department?
the planning department, so
Okay.
if you would wanna
Maybe
spread the
I'll-
word on that,
Maybe I'll just mention that online.
yes, just to,
Favorite.
and could you send out to all of us the link to go in and put the comments on the master plan, please?
It's right on the website.
do you want me to send you the direct link to like the comment box?
Yes, please, so I don't have to go looking
Yep.
someplace else and get frustrated by it, anyway. So, that's all I have, except for happy Thanksgiving. So, you were saying?
I second.
Is that what you were asking me about
Yeah,
adjourning?
so-
No.
so-
I move we adjourn.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everybody, for your patience tonight.
Oh, boy.
Man.
That was